Hello everyone, it's Carrie at Inky Bee Journals and Ephemera. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, hello and welcome. And if you have visited my channel before, thank you so much for returning and joining me again today. I really do appreciate it. So today we are working on part 3 of the Easy Book Page Pocket series. And today we will be working on making these envelope pockets. So there is this rounded corner on one, and we have an angle corner on the other. They both have a thumb notch in them, and that is a personal choice thing, and whether you choose to have rounded or angled, or if you prefer, you can just have the normal cornered edge there if you don't want to do anything on the corners. So if you have not seen part 1 and part 2 and you would like to, you can head on over to the playlist titled Ephemera Ideas, and I will try to put a link in the description box below. At the very bottom of the description box, there should be a link there directly for that playlist. I will try to put an eye icon in the top right hand corner here for you to tap on that, and that should also take you to that link. So without further ado, let's get started. So I am just using regular book pages from a novel. Now, I have not destroyed a good book. This book was initially purchased by me at one of my local charity stores, and it was to a point where the store was going to throw it away because they were not able to sell it. So I offered them a donation and I took the book off their hands. Now this book has a little bit of discoloration, and that's what I wanted in my pages. It's not a super old book though, because I know that when I fold these pages, they are not going to crack and fall apart. In terms of the size of your pages, it really doesn't matter. You can have smaller pages than this, or you can have larger pages. All that will change is the size of your finished pockets. You will only need 1 page per pocket, and I'm going to be making 3, so I have 3 pages here. So we'll move these aside and we'll make a start. So firstly, we need to fold up the bottom edge of these pages. How far up you fold it is, well, it really doesn't matter. I like to generally fold them up by approximately 1 centimetre, but it doesn't have to be specific. All I can suggest is that you try and not make it too narrow, because we're using this to just give a little bit of double thickness where we're going to put our thumb notch in. And try, if you can, to get it straight. And one way you know you have it straight is to see if this edge here and this edge here are lining up evenly. And you're just going to crease that all the way along, and I'm just going to take my bone folder and reinforce that crease down. Now this is an ergonomic bone folder, and this is great for people like myself who have arthritis, and it came in a pack of 4. So these are the other bone folders that came in the pack. This was a set. Now I will link this below if you would like to check that out, but you don't have to use any of these particular bone folders. There is a whole range of different bone folders out there, so you can just find something that you like and use that. Once we have creased this down, we're going to open this up and we're going to do the same on this side and down this side by about 1 centimetre. Once again, we don't have to be specific, but try to keep it even and neat at the edges so that you are as straight as you possibly can. Now, if you want to measure this, you can. If you want to use a scoreboard, if you have one available, you can absolutely use that as well. If it's easier for you, there is no reason you can't do it that way. I'm just going to get my bone folder and I'm just going to run over that crease line to burnish that crease down. And then I'm going to do the same over this side. So I'm just going to turn it this way because it's a little bit easier for me if I turn my page. So again, we're just going to fold it in by about 1 centimetre and going to try and keep it even all the way along and try and make it as straight as I can. Once again, if it's even at the end and at the bottom end and even at the top end, then hopefully that helps you to keep your line straight. And I'm just going to burnish that down with my bone folder. So then we have our side folds in and our bottom fold. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pen so that I can mark this and I can show you what it is I'm actually doing. So when we folded up the bottom like this, we created a fold line this way. And when we folded the sides over, we created a fold line that runs this way. What we need to do is we need to do an angle cut just to the side of the horizontal line, of the vertical line, sorry, and we need to do a slight angle cut on beside the horizontal line. We have created a box in the corner and we need to completely remove this box. And we're going to do the same thing in this corner. So we have our vertical crease line and our horizontal crease line. We are going to do an angle cut to the side of the vertical line and an angle cut to the side of the horizontal line. We are going to remove this corner entirely. Now I'm just going to use my finger blade. You can use a ruler and a craft knife or a pair of scissors if that is easier for you. So I'm just going to run my blade along the line where those angle cuts will be and remove that corner. We're going to do the same over this side. And I'm sorry if I am moving this page around on different angles, but when I am cutting or folding, sometimes it's a little bit easier to do it that way. So now that we've done these corners and we've removed them, I'm going to put some glue here, fold this up and glue it down. But why did we remove these corners? Well, it takes some of the bulk out when we fold these up, and it will help everything to sit a little bit flatter when it's finished. So I'm just going to take the pin out of my glue. Now I am using art glitter glue. You do not have to use art glitter glue. I have put mine in this bottle because I like to see how much I have left to use. As far as glues are concerned, you can use any glue you like, but I do suggest you try and find a glue that not only can stick paper, but is something that doesn't have a high concentrate of water in it, because when it's too watery, it seeps into the paper too much and it can cause it to tear and it can cause it to wrinkle. Now, some people don't mind that wrinkle and will embrace it, but some people don't like that wrinkle and it can ruin the look of your artwork, if you want to call it your artwork, your paper crafting, and you don't necessarily want that. So we're just going to glue along the bottom here on the inside of that flap, and I'm just going to fold that up and I'm just going to glue that down. And I've got a little bit of glue seepage there. And I'm just going to make sure that is well and truly glued down and press down that glue with my bone folder. Now this is going to be the edge that we put our thumb notch into, but we'll do that shortly. The next thing we need to do is we need to fold down the top to create the top flap of our envelope. Now the easiest way I find to do this is to turn it around so that the top is actually at the bottom. I hope I haven't confused you saying that. So you have it up the right way, just turn it around so that the top is at the bottom and all your writing will be upside down. Then you fold up, and how far you fold it is completely up to you. Just fold it until you think you have the depth that you want for your top flap, top of your envelope flap. So I'm going to fold it to about there. And then you're just going to crease that along the bottom like that. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to run over that crease. And then we're going to open this up again and put it back up the right way. And then we're going to take the bottom piece where we folded it up, and we're going to fold this up until it's close to that crease that we just made at the top, but not right on top of that crease. So I will actually mark this crease with my pen so that you can see where that crease is. All right, there's my line, my crease line, and I'm going to bring the bottom up to just below that crease line. So I'm about, you can see where my writing is, where my text is, and I'm bringing this up to just below that text line so that I have about 1/8 of an inch between the top crease line and where the bottom of this pocket is going to be, or where the top of this pocket is going to be. And I'm just going to line that up at the sides as evenly as I can, and I'm just going to press that down along the bottom. And once again, I'm just going to use my bone folder to run over that crease. Then we can open this up and we can look at these creases here. So we have a vertical crease line and we have a horizontal crease line, and we have that on both sides. And once again, just like we did at the bottom, how we did the angle cut, so we need to do the same here and create a little V-notch. So we're going to do a slight angle either side of this horizontal line to create a little V-notch, and we will actually be taking that V-notch completely out. We need to do the same on this side. So we're doing an angle cut either side of this horizontal line, creating a little V shape, and we will remove that entirely. Once again, by doing this, we are taking out some of the bulk in our crease area, in our fold area. So we'll just cut out those little V notches and remove those. Just like that. So these bottom flaps will become our gusset. And that means, if I show you with this, and I'll just grab this to show you, having our gusset means that we've got more real estate in our pocket. So when we put our ephemera in, or our piece of paper, or whatever you choose to put in your pocket, we can bring it right up to that folded edge on the side. And we can do it on both sides, right up to the folded edge. If we were gluing, we would not have as much space right up to the edge to do that. And because we're not putting glue across the bottom of our envelope, it means we can put our ephemera all the way down to that fold at the bottom. These top flaps become reinforcing sides. For the same reason we reinforce down here, it just reinforces these sides. Some people may choose to remove them, but I'm keeping them to reinforce them. So we are going to open these flaps here and glue on the inside of them. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to run over that area, and I'm going to do the same on this side. And use my bone folder to run over that as well. Then we need to fold this up, and we need to put a thumb notch here. Now, you don't have to put a thumb notch in. That's a personal choice thing. If you like the look of a thumb notch, we can put one in, and I will show you how to do that. If you don't want a thumb notch because you don't like the look of it, then that's fine. You can absolutely just leave it as it is. But I am going to show you how to do a thumb notch. So what I like to do is get a pen or a pencil and just roughly mark where you think the center is. If you want to measure it specifically, you can, but I'm just going to eyeball it today. And I'm going to use my circle punch. Now this is a 1-inch circle punch, and I think this is big enough for a small pocket like this. If you have a bigger pocket, you can use a 1.5-inch or a 2-inch circle punch, or whatever size you prefer to use. And I will show you how to do a thumb notch in 2 different ways after using this. If you don't have one of these, I will show you 2 other options that you can use. But for this first pocket, we'll use the circle punch. Now I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to slide this piece out, and we are going to, if you haven't seen these before, there is a slot in here, and this is where you put your paper in. So when we turn this upside down, we put the top edge of our paper into the slot here, and we slide that into as far as we would like our paper to go to make the depth of the notch that we want. Now I'm bringing mine into just under half of the depth of this circle. I'm lining this mark that I made with the pen on the paper with the line on the triangle on this clear piece, and then I am going to punch. Now with this piece that came out, you can keep that if you wish. I'm just going to put it in my recycle. And then we are going to put glue on the outside of these flaps. And you need to make sure you're running your glue right down the edge and a little bit on the sides. And then we're going to make sure they're both folded inwards, and then we're going to fold this up, and we're going to place these down as evenly as we can to the sides, and then we're going to press those down. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to help press that glue in. And then we have the pocket pretty much finished. However, this is where you can choose to leave the top edge of your flap, or you might call it the bottom edge if it's folded over like this. Now you can leave it just as it is if you want to, but if you'd like to round the corners, this is one way in which you can do that. So one way you can do it is by getting yourself one of these 3-way corner rounders. This is a paper punch, and this is just one design in a number of designs that are out there to find. If you are interested in one of these, I will try to link one of these or one similar to this in the description box below for you to check out if you'd like. Now I'm going to use the largest one, and I'm going to flip it upside down, and just like the circle punch, it has slots in the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the corner into the slot here, and you will find the corner of the page goes into the corner of your triangle, and then I'm going to punch. Now sometimes it will fly out and other times it doesn't. And then you have your rounded corner. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. Once again, putting the paper corner into this slot, and then putting the corner into the corner of your triangle here, and punch. So there we have 2 rounded corners. And there we have one completed pocket with a thumb notch. So we'll do another one. So we start with the bottom, and I'm just going to fold up by about 1 centimetre. and reinforce that with my bone folder. And then I'm going to do the same on the left and the right side. So fold it in by about 1 centimetre. And I'm just going to reinforce that with my bone folder. And then I'm going to do the same over this side. And once again, I'm just going to run over that with my bone folder. Then we are going to turn it around. I am going to do this because it's easier for me, but if you want to just do it from this angle, you can. But I'm going to turn it around so my text is upside down, and I'm just going to fold it down as far as I want to go for my flap. So I'm going to go to about there, and I'm going to crease that down and run over that with my bone folder. And then I'm going to turn it back around the right way up, and I'm going to fold this up where I want it just below this top crease here. And I'm going to fold that, and I'm going to run over that with my bone folder, and then I'm going to open this up. Now we are going to angle cut here and here, and take this corner out, and angle cut here and here, and take this corner out. And then we are going to, where we have our horizontal line here and here, we are going to V-notch here and take that V shape out, and we're going to angle cut here and here and take this V shape out. So now we're going to glue along the bottom. Fold that up and glue that down. And then we are going to glue these top flaps down on the these top flaps on the side down. We're going to glue both of these down. And this side. And then we are going to fold this up, and we're going to roughly measure our centre, so about there. Now I'm going to use my bottle this time to make my notch. So I'm going to place it where I want the notch to be. And I'm going to place it so that half of the bottle is on the paper and the other half of the bottle is off the paper. Then I'm going to hold the bottle and trace around the bottle. And then I'm simply going to use my scissors to cut this out. Now you can use normal size scissors if you want to, but you might find it a bit awkward. So I'm just going to use my embroidery scissors because it's a little bit easier. And I'm just going to cut just outside this black line. And I'm going to do this as neatly as I can manage. We are making something handmade, so it's okay to have a little bit of an imperfection there if there is. So we now have our thumb notch, so we can fold these side flaps in. These are our gusset flaps, and we can put a line of glue down the side and then along there, and do the same on this side, and then we can fold them up, fold the bottom up with your gussets facing in and place them down. Press them down with my bone folder, and then we can do the top. Again, you can leave it just as it is, or you can round the corners. Now, another way you can round the corners, if you don't have a corner rounder like this or some other type of corner rounder, is you can make yourself a template like this. Now, I have a small, medium, a large, and an extra large size. So all I'm going to do is choose which one I want, line the top and the side of it up with the top and the side of the book page, trace around the edge of that rounded edge, and then flip it over and do the same on the other side. And then I am just going to get my scissors and I am just going to follow that line to cut those corners into a rounded shape, just like that. So there you have two rounded corners. So we'll make a third one, and this time when we make one, we will make it with these angle cuts. So once again, we fold up the bottom by about 1 centimetre. It can be, excuse me, it can be over 1 centimetre. It can be under 1 centimetre, but I wouldn't go too much smaller than that because then it's hardly reinforcing that edge. I'm just going to run over that with my bone folder, and then we are going to fold these sides in by about 1 centimetre as well. Once again, you don't need to measure this specifically, but try to keep it straight if you can. I'm just going to run over that with my bone folder again. And then do the same on the other side. And I'm just going to reinforce that with my bone folder. Now we can do our angle cut at the bottom and take out this corner, and the same on this side, and take out this corner. And then we can fold down the top. I'm going to turn it around so that my text is upside down, and I'm going to fold it up until I've got the width of the top flap that I want. So I'm going to fold it to about there, and I'm just going to crease that and run over it with my bone folder. And then I'm going to fold this bottom piece up until I have it just below that top crease line, leaving about 3 millimeters or about 1/8 of an inch between that top crease and where you bring your paper up to from the bottom. And I'm just going to crease that and run my bone folder over that again. Now that we've created this horizontal line here, we can do our V-notch here and remove that V-notch. Once again, it just takes some of the bulk out of the area where you're folding. Now we can glue this bottom up. And run over that with my bone folder. Then we can glue these side pieces in. Now, we can fold this up. We can use our pen to roughly mark our centre. Now, I will show you how you can do a thumb notch if you haven't got a circle punch or a bottle or some other type of round object that you can trace. But if you do happen to have a stencil like this that has a bunch of different size circles on it. I inherited this one from my brother when he passed because he used to do a lot of drawings of motor pieces and mechanical pieces, so he used this quite frequently. So I will be using this, and I'm going to choose this circle here and in line with this little line here. And just like when we used this circle punch, we brought the paper in to just below halfway so that we could make the depth of the thumb notch that we want to put in. So I'm going to do the same with this. So here is my marking on the paper, and this is the one that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to place this down so it's just below halfway, and line this mark up with the line at the bottom of this circle, and then I'm just going to trace the inside of that circle, and then once again I can use my small scissors to cut just outside that line as neatly as I can manage. And there is our thumb notch. Now we can take these side flaps and fold them in. These are our gusset flaps, and run some glue just along the outer edge and then along the center of it, and do the same on the other side. And then making sure we keep those flaps folded in, we're going to pick up our piece and fold up, lining up to the sides as evenly as you can, and then press down. And I'm just going to use my bone folder again to press down that glue. Then we can look at doing angle cuts at the top here. So I am going to use my three-way angle cutter, three-way paper cutter. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put the corner of my page into the slot, into the corner of the triangle that I want. So I'm using the biggest one, and I'm just going to punch. Now to do the other one, if you have one of these, you can absolutely use that for the other side. If you don't have one, you can look at making yourself a template. Sorry, this one, which is the same as the rounding one that I showed you before. So I have a small, a medium, a large and an extra large. Now I know that this is the size of the extra large, so I'm going to use this on this side. So you have two choices here. You can either flip your envelope and do it that way, or you can flip your template and do it this way, lining up the top and the side. You can give yourself a pencil mark, and then you can just take your scissors and cut along that line. So there you have your envelope. So we have 3 envelopes, not these ones. These 3 envelopes completed. So we won't be decorating these today, because what I will do is when I have decided what journal they will go in, I will decorate these according to the theme of the journal that I put them in. So that is our 3 pockets completed. I do hope you will give these a go. They're not hard to make. Once you've done 3 of them, you will find they get easier to make. I do things in 3s because I do believe that repetition helps you to remember how you're making something. So have a go. If you liked this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more and you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that YouTube can send you a notification when I upload new content for you. So I will leave the video there for now. Until next time, have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.